Fear is strange. It whispers before it roars. It grows when we run from it, and it shrinks the very moment we turn around and walk toward it. This is the story of a girl who lived inside her fears for so long that she forgot what life without them felt like. And it's also a reflection of something I think many of us silently struggle with, because fear, I send, always a monster hiding in the dark. Sometimes fear is a quiet voice in your own mind, repeating the same sentence every day. You can't do this. I've heard that voice too, more times than I like to admit. The girl wasn't weak, okay? She was actually incredibly bright, sensitive, thoughtful, the kind of person who notices the details most people ignore. But with that sensitivity came something else, anxiety that lived inside her like a second heartbeat. Okay, she feared speaking up, feared being judged, feared making mistakes. Okay, she feared choosing wrong, feared being seen, feared being misunderstood. She feared so many things that eventually she feared fear itself. And I think many of us know exactly how that feels when fear becomes such a normal part of you that you stop questioning it. Most days, she stayed inside her comfort zone, which, by the way, wasn't comfortable at all. Comfort zones rarely are. They're not soft, gentle cushions. They are cages with pillows on the floor, familiar but limiting, predictable but suffocating. I used to confuse comfort with safety too, till I realized that the safest path often kills the dreams that make life worth living. One day, she met a mentor, not someone with magical answers, not a guru floating above the ground, but a simple, grounded, honest human being who could see through her defenses. He saw not just the fear she showed, but the courage she buried. And that is something I think real mentors have. They see the version of you that you forgot existed. When he asked her what she feared the most, she looked down. Not because she didn't know the answer, but because she knew it too clearly. She feared speaking in front of others. Her throat locked every time she tried. Her body froze. Her hands shook. Just the idea of saying something out loud in a room filled with people made her heart crash against her chest. And honestly, I get it. Public speaking triggers deep, ancient instincts. The fear of humiliation, rejection, exposure, all packed into one moment. The mentor listened quietly. Then he said the sentence that would change your life. Real courage only appears inside fear. If you run, it never grows. If you enter it, it becomes yours. She didn't want to hear that. She wanted a softer answer, a trick, a shortcut. Something that would let her avoid the fear but still live confidently. But there is no shortcut around fear. There is only forward into it. And this isn't just a lesson from her story. Something I've learned too. Every meaningful thing I've ever done came with fear attached to it. I used to wait for fear to disappear first. But fear doesn't disappear. You walk with it until it gets tired and stops following you. The mentor gave her a task to speak in front of 10 people by the end of the week. Just 10. But to her, it felt like 100,000. She wanted to refuse, to hide, to pretend she couldn't do it. But something inside her, maybe frustration, maybe exhaustion, maybe a tiny spark of courage, said yes. The week leading up to that moment was filled with battles no one else could see. She practiced in front of the mirror. Her voice cracked. Her mind screamed, "You will embarrass yourself." She imagined people laughing. She imagined freezing in place. She imagined every possible disaster. You know how the mind works. It's an expert at painting nightmares that look like reality. But she showed up. Her hands were cold. Her breathing was shallow. Her heart felt like it was running a marathon. But she stood there, and something incredible happened. She didn't faint. She didn't break. She didn't fall apart. The fear was still there, but she was inside it, not outside. Here is something important I want everyone to understand. Courage doesn't feel like strength. Courage feels like shaking hands, dry mouth, fast heartbeat, but you act anyway. Courage feels like fear in motion. As she began speaking, her voice was small at first, but it didn't disappear. The people in the room were listening. No one laughed. No one mocked. In fact, they leaned in. And this is another secret about fear. We assume the world is against us. Most people deeply respect those who dare to try. Halfway through, something shifted. She realized that her fear didn't control her. It lived inside her, yes, but she wasn't its prisoner. By walking into her fear instead of avoiding it, she discovered that the monster she had built in her mind was just a shadow. By the time she finished, her legs were shaking, but her smile was real. The mentor looked at her and said, "That moment you walked forward while afraid, that was courage. Your fear didn't disappear, okay? But you grew bigger than it." I have learned in my own life that fear is not something you eliminate. Fear is something you walk with, negotiate with, outgrow. Whether it's fear of starting something new, fear of leaving someone, fear of changing your life, it's fear of judgment, the rule is the same. The only path is through. If I could give you practical advice from my own experiences, it would be this. Don't wait to feel ready. Readiness is a myth. Start small. Fear shrinks when confronted in small doses. Talk to someone you trust. Fear becomes smaller when spoken out loud. Reward yourself after every act of courage. The brain grows through repetition and reward. And remember, fear is not the end of the road. It is the beginning of growth. Just like the girl, we all have something we're avoiding. Something that feels too big, too loud, too heavy. But life doesn't reward the ones who hide. Life rewards the ones who take one trembling step forward. And if you're listening to this right now, maybe this story is your sign. Maybe your fear is not a warning. Maybe it is an invitation, a door that only opens from the inside. It's a challenge that holds your future self on the other side. The girl walked into her fear and found her voice. You can walk into yours and find your power. The fear won't vanish, but you will rise above it, because real courage doesn't live before fear. Real courage is born inside it.